Love to see everyone from different continents or countries. So welcome. I will start now. I think we're ready. So hi, everyone. I'm David Lane. I'm the program manager of our Founder Catalyst programs in Asia, and also the program manager for MIH for startups that's going to be happening very soon, right? A bit about me. I grew up in Taiwan, but I had an American education, hence my accent. But my passion is to connect people across the world, and I'm doing that right now, so I'm happy. Right. A bit about Techstars, who's behind this program alongside MIH and Foxconn. Techstars has 52 accelerators across the world currently. We've invested in 3,000. We hit that mark now. We were at 2,900 for the longest time. Now we have invested in 3,000 or so active startups. So that's an amazing feat. And we have a lot of different ways of connecting our portfolio companies to each other and to our network, right? And more about that later. But today it's about our partnership with MIH and the MIH for Startups program. So I want to bring our amazing Joe to the stage to tell you more about MIH and what they're doing in the innovation front in EV and how this program is going to change your life if you're an EV company, right?
All right. Thank you, David. Thanks, David, for the introduction. And hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Pi Chang. So I'm the head of marketing at MIH. So I'm super excited here today, to be able to see all of you joining this session today. So let me quickly share with you all about who MIH is, if you haven't already learned that, and why we're creating this startup program with Techstars. So MIH Consortium is an Foxconn initiative, and we are creating an open electric vehicle ecosystem that promotes collaboration in the mobility industry with the goal to lower entry barrier to accelerate innovation. So we currently have more than 2,400 members from around the world, and we're working together to realize key technologies, develop reference designs and standards through our 14 working groups. Just to name a few, so they are like electric powertrain systems, battery energy management, autonomous driving, smart cockpit. And with the reference design and standards, we create go-to-market opportunities together with Foxconn and our members. So MIH, we are super excited to be working with Techstars to create this MIH for Startups powered by Techstars program to drive innovation with startups around the world, as we really believe that startup being the key to future EV innovation. So quickly about this program. So MIH for Startup program, it runs from August to October with the application deadline coming up in just 3 days, October 14th. So if you haven't completed your applications yet, so yeah, please do that. If you're interested in this program, please do that by the Sunday. And we will have a demo day in November where we will be bringing the final teams to Taipei, Taiwan for the demo day and have a chance to sit down with MIH to discuss proof of concept projects and also meet with Foxconn investment team to discuss investment opportunities. So yeah, so if you're a startup working on EV related areas, we would love to have you join this MIH for Startups program. And we'll share the application link in the chat shortly. And we'll have some time at the end to talk more about this program during the Q&A if you have any questions about that. So without further ado, let me give the floor back to David.
Thank you. So this is the program website, and this is the application. I'll leave it here for you for those who haven't applied yet and they're looking for the information. And also we'll put it into the chat link as well. So scan it with your phone or press the link or just Google MIH for Startups. You'll find it. Excited to see you all join and see you guys in Taiwan. Okay, so back to today's session. We have two amazing founders joining us today, and we're going to be talking about how important global innovation and collaboration between startups is, right? And so we're going to go down into the nitty-gritty of why collaboration between founders and between startups is actually really beneficial for both parties, and how that kind of played out for our guests today. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you all Jean and Raphael. And I will let Raphael and Jean talk about a bit about how they ended up founding a EV startup and running them currently, and also how they joined into this this space, right? So let's go with Raphael first, and then we'll go to Jean.
Yeah, thank you, David. Happy to join the session today. I'm very thankful for this opportunity. I'm from Munich in Germany originally. Me and my co-founder started a EV company last year, or end of last year, since we figured out how inefficient many processes are in the EV charging space. Especially my personal background is I was working in a software company and originally studied physics. So had more to do with electric vehicle batteries first, but then got into the EV charging space. And actually we found then our company Charged, and went through Techstars already in the United States, and graduated in end of May this year. And I'm happy to share my experiences there, and also how Jean and I met, and how we can work together in the next minutes. Over to Jean.
Amazing. Yes, Jean, let's hear from you.
Hello everyone, my name is my name is Jean Thiraphat. I am very happy and honored to speak today, and share experience with everyone to hear what we have been through. Well, today Raphael and I had about 40 minutes today. If so, let me give you a brief introduction first. Back when I started out about 6 to 7 months ago, I didn't know anything about startups. I'm just a normal person who see this business opportunity, and it's a business that meets my passion a lot, is clean energy, environment, and electric cars. A few months ago, I was still a student in Thailand. I used to study at Mahidol University, and then drop into Kasetsart University, and then drop out again. Because I can do this project and study together, like it's very difficult to go to college all day and go to work at the same time. But I haven't given up on my studies at all. In Thailand, a diploma is still an important must-have thing. So I was looking for an alternative to not having to go on-site college. And then I went to USELEX, an online college, and now have my certificate and 100% focus on this startup, which is OneCharge.
Amazing. That's a great story. And so without further ado, I want to transition into the backgrounds of each startup, so we can pave the way of how they came in and collaborate. So I'm going to share my screen, and let's go in the order of Charged with Raphael first, and then OneCharge with Jean second. So ready when you are, Jean. No, not Jean, Raphael, sorry.
I'm ready.
Can you see my screen?
I see your screen, yeah.
Great.
So basically we founded Charge because we figured out, first of all, we have a lot of private charging infrastructure out there, which is, for example, at workplaces, hotels, malls, and so on, which are not operated by large network operators. And another big issue that we figured out in the EV space is, if you drive a combustion engine car, is everyone has the same process of fueling up. So you go to the fuel station, fuel up, and you go ahead. This changes dramatically when I drive an electric car, because everyone has a different situation. One person may have an opportunity to charge at home because I have my own house with my charging station. Another person has not this opportunity because this person lives in the middle of the city. And so you see there are different situations, and maybe not a person which has his own charging station can just start every morning with 100% and the other person cannot. And now many people want, for example, charge at their workplaces, but now who has yet the priority to charge there? And you see there's a certain inequality of opportunities how to charge. And with Charge, we open up, first of all, more private infrastructure to make more charging available. And we give everyone the same opportunity. With this, we are able to, or we developed a software AI solution, which is which provides everyone the same opportunity, but also increases the utilization of every charge point. And the third most important component is we achieve this without changing habits or breaking into people's really making an additional effort here. And if you go just one slide back, then basically we have a product with 3 layers. First of all, we have a connectivity to charging infrastructure to companies like Genes, and we also connect to the vehicles. So we're deeply integrated in terms of with our software into the EV space. We have then our intelligence layer to optimize charging and open up more charging infrastructure and optimize the system. And the third component is the user interface, where the driver can set up all of his connectivity and access it in the car or also on the phone. And we are, as I mentioned, if you go to the next slide, we've been at Techstars in the US, and we just started in the end of last year. We established our own network first to get a test bed where we can test stuff and understand our system better and already understand behavior of humans, how they use charging stations and how we can arrange their charging sessions in a better manner. And then we developed scheduling software for electric vehicle charging to optimize every single charge point. So there would be basically on our charging network, we generate first revenue and operate this now also with corporations in the United States.
Great. Now we transition over to Jean to talk about OneCharge.
Yeah, so we will begin with a simple question. What are the problems of the electric vehicle industry in Thailand? So we found that people using electric cars have to download more than 10 to 20 applications in order to cover the charging points. So we came up with the idea that we are going to create an application that combines all apps in one single page. But it's not that easy as we think. Electric vehicles are very new to our country. Each brand wanted to make by their own. So we pivot the model as we build the additional platform so that people with a page who are interested in charging sessions can gather here without wasting time and money to develop the application or platform. Yeah, so this will be the phase of platform that the owners of the charging session sees. Will be able to see how much income, how many users to charge every day, charging status, how many kilowatt of the power, and most importantly, they can without money every day. Next slide. So by our business is really easy. We go to explore your area and we will have a requirements for what kind of area it must be. Then we will have a team of experts to install the charger and then connect to our backend system. That's it. You can now own the charging station. And this is application for EV users so that they can find and access charging station. And how it works is really simple. User just select the desired location, scan in front of the charger, and then plug the outlet into the car and press start charging. And we also have a wallet for user as well. In our country, it is very popular to use a wallet. Just select the desired amount, save QR code to top up your mobile banking. That's it. The money go into the user wallet itself. When charging is complete, the system will deduct money from the user wallet according to the amount of energy and according to the price set by the station owner. So we do this business not only to help entrepreneurs to earn more, but we also help people use electric cars to use it as easily and more confidently. So I will talk about how I met Charge. Okay.
Yes, please do.
Okay, so can I start now? Oh,
Yes.
okay. 6 months ago, I just started a company. I started looking for the opportunities to find partners by joining a Facebook group related to electric vehicles. I met someone who made the app, so I messaged him to discuss the details about the app. Believe it or not, that person is Charge co-founders. His name is Thomas, and we haven't talked for in a long time. And Raphael, please tell others how we accidentally met.
Yeah, we actually we were in this Facebook group because we were looking for test customers and used all of the social media to get EV drivers, and we're joining all of the Facebook groups, of course, to get test customers for our platform. And I saw Gene's progress on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago, and I was just curious. Actually, I met a lot of competitors and other companies just because I was interested in talking to them and to learn more about their solutions. And yeah, that's also how I met Gene. We reached out and set up an intro call to learn about our solutions, and yeah, saw that we have a same vision in making electric vehicle infrastructure accessible to more people and simplifying it. Gene with a solution to open up more chargers and bringing them all together in one platform, and Charge with integrating it or making it more accessible through applying it to different lifestyles. And yeah, we saw great synergies there on how we can collaborate and set up also communication channels and groups with his team and our team to exchange knowledge and experiences here, and also find a way how we can complement each other here.
Amazing. So just to clarify, you guys didn't know each other. Thomas and Gene met through Facebook, and then Gene and Raphael met through LinkedIn again.
Yeah.
In different situations, but both of you guys were trying to find different things, which is one is partnerships, and then the other one would be test customers, but you found another founder that's doing something similar. Is that correct?
Exactly, yeah.
Amazing. And how did those synergies kind of come up, right? So could you go and elaborate into like how you started talking about how these two softwares, which we just heard about, which are similar, right? But because one of you guys is based in Europe and one of you guys is based in Southeast Asia, where were the similarities and where were like the differences where you could capitalize on each other's strengths and weaknesses?
Gene, if you like, you can just explain a bit how the market in Thailand works, and I'm happy to go into the US and Europe. I think that's a good explanation.
So I want to discuss our system first. Like as we do the similar platforms and applications, we can adapt to use the others features. This makes development easier and more efficiency. Generally, charging station that can collect money use the same OCPP system almost all over the world. This makes it even easier and for us to do it. So I want to talk about in Thailand, the layer in Thailand about EV. Currently, electric vehicle charging stations in Thailand are very few compared to other countries. Back in 2021, Thailand only had 700 charging stations compared to Germany, more than 45,000 charging stations. If the number is wrong, tell me, Raphael. And the number of the electric cars in Thailand at the present is only about 6,000 units only. The reason is because electric vehicles are very new in our country, and what challenge is there is not much emphasis here on synergies. If I ask how we got this to this point, I have to say that it's not from a big fund or an investors, but rather from an angel investors. Because in Thailand, startups that are stage idea at that are new, but I mean they don't really funding in the startup in stage idea at all, or are very few in Thailand. Therefore, making an application that combines other apps in one place is very difficult task. So we pivot the model to be an application open platform so that people with a space can invest in charging station, which the feedback is better than we thought. Yeah.
And yes, I think it's very different for Europe or the US, for example. The markets are more advanced, so we are in a different stage here. So it's not just about putting charging stations out, but it's also using the existing infrastructure in a better and more efficient way. And that's exactly how we also came together, because we had many experiences on how charging infrastructure is facilitated in Europe, for example, and what solutions are here working and what are not working. And on the other side, we see what Gene is doing, which is a pretty lean approach of bringing charging stations into one platform. And I think this was really where we see the synergy, or saw the synergies that we in Charged, since the market is also a bit more advanced and we have more electric cars, and a new problem to solve on how to use this infrastructure better is a different layer in the EV space. And you don't really compete in the EV space, since the markets highly also rely on regulations of the individual country. So it's very beneficial to really share technology, and also or especially technology and user flows and how the user interact with these systems. And I think that's the greatest synergies that we share to really and why it's not really a competitive thing when you are in a different continent or market, because it's the user behavior is different and the regulations, but the technology is still the same. So and that's how we actually also started to work together and to discuss things around how to implement charging infrastructure better, and what software technologies we use, and how we integrate different systems like a route planning or other functionalities for electric vehicles, which are mainly available in Europe, for example, but not in Thailand. And therefore it's great to see this. And for us, it's even beneficial at Charged to have to tap into existing networks. So when Gene is building up a network, we can provide this also to our customers, or provide our software and intelligence to Gene software and adapt it here. And those are the great synergies, looking at different markets and somehow different problems in terms of the stage of the market, but in terms of technology, we use the same applications here.
Got it. So before talking to Gene or vice versa, did you guys know that there was such a drastic difference in technology and infrastructure in different parts of the world, or that kind of clarified that for you, since Gene has on-the-ground experience in Southeast Asia, and Raphael, you have on-the-ground experience in the US and the EU, right? Did that kind of insight come about after talking with each other, or was that already a preconceived thing that you knew already?
For me personally, it came especially when we were talking to each other. I think also in Asia, Gene, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think there are also different countries have different legislations, of course, not just but regulations. And I especially, learned a lot about in which stage the market is and what the problems are there, because of course in every stage of the market you have different problems to solve. And that's really what showed me the difference after talking to each other there.
Okay, so from connecting on different platforms in a sense of different regions with the same technology, how do you see synergies or collaborations between not just sharing information like what you're doing in the beginning, but do you see synergies, or because of this connection or interaction with each other, how do you guys see planning strategic collaborations in different parts of the world, or together as a big super software that can help different locations specifically? Has any of that kind of surfaced because of this connection, and can you go into details into why these might be a very suitable collaboration between both Charged and OneCharge?
If asked why we are not competitors, even though we do similar things, I must say that the world had changed. We saw greater opportunities to have us cross-platform together with Charge. It would be nice if people from my country travel to Raphael country and can use my app. And it would be great if people from Raphael country can visit my country and use Charge application. Sounds cool, right?
Yeah, and I think that's this cross-platform is the first thing that really unify charging infrastructure and give everyone the same access here. And especially, yeah, in terms of technology and stages of the market, I think it's really beneficial to share software infrastructure, and the roadmap there ahead is really to integrate and combine functionalities that are now relevant in Europe, but not relevant in Thailand yet, but will be relevant in the future. So I think the very beneficial part is to combine business models, but also technologies and functionalities in the platforms. And as Jean mentioned, also giving access. So when I will, for example, travel and I drive an electric car in Thailand, I can stay with the Charged platform and not have to change to a new platform or download additional apps or use a different technology. And I think that's the great thing about, yeah, digital solutions here, that we can really provide these things with in different countries. And we did this with Charged. We have infrastructure in Europe, but are now mainly also focusing on the US, and see that many things are happening the same manner. So yeah, why not giving users the opportunity to stick with one platform, even when they travel to different countries?
Amazing. And I think it's similar to what MIH is doing with their open innovation platform. And we see that very well, is that, yes, one company can try to get into each regions, but as we can see, the infrastructure in different parts of the world, especially in EV, is still in the formation stages, right? EU, America might be a few steps ahead. Southeast Asia, maybe Central Asia or Eastern Asia are a bit behind in some regards, but it'll take way too many resources for just one startup to kind of expand into everywhere, right? And what we want as the EV or the greater EV ecosystem is to bring adoption faster, and collaboration can help that. So Jean can focus on Thailand, Raphael can focus on Europe and America, while everyone can use the same experience. And the more people that use these technologies, the better. And you can focus really well in those regions, right? And that's what MIH is also pushing, is open platform innovation, where we can plug and play different technologies with each other. The more people talk to each other, the more people collaborate, the faster we can innovate and iterate. So I think for sure, that's very exciting to see that this is happening on a very grassroots level, and we can take it another level with the help of such a big corporation like MIH or Foxconn with more facilitation. But it's the same thing, right? Collaboration and co-working and making it open, so it's easy to collaborate and work together without stepping on each other's toes, right? That's really good to see and good to hear. And so let's end with a few takeaways from just connecting with founders, right? So today's theme is about collaboration and cooperation. And a lot of people might have joined that third masterclass we had with Ted Sabinsky. And that's the thing that he was talking about that was different this time around with mobility, right? So he was an early investor in mobility around, I'd say 7 to 8 years ago, when he did his first Detroit Mobility Accelerator. And when he was talking about his cohort and his investment companies, the thing that he saw different with this new wave of EV startups is back then they were thinking about working with big corporates right off the bat, right? So meaning a small company like Charge or OneCharge trying to collaborate with someone like Ford or General Motors, and they couldn't really scale up and keep up, or those interactions or those integrations were very rigid because they were trying to do so much at once, right? And now he's seeing that open system and also innovation where collaborations like Charge and OneCharge can happen, and everyone's trying to open up their softwares or their platforms so people can kind of use theirs to empower themselves and open that up to other people. And so this could be like a network effect of growth in the industry. And that's something exciting he's seeing, right? So from your standpoints as founders, do you see that in this ecosystem right now? And what would you tell a fellow founder in this ecosystem to do in your experience with how to reach out to fellow founders? And what are the benefits you see constantly putting yourself out there, looking for synergies with different companies that might be in the same vertical?
It's great that we met. Recently, we talk about like features in use in the application. We have compared the pros and cons of each features. We found that user behavior in each country is similar but not exactly the same. For example, like Raphael apps, the charge. If a car is parked and refuses to leave, it would be called in and move the car by giving user some credits, right? But in my country, if the parking is overdue, we will adjust the money instead. And we have learned many stories about how our country is, how the startup industry support each other's people perspective on the environment and many things. In the near future, I believe that electric cars will sooner or later replace petrol cars, and it's actually going to be faster if it's slow, because we all know that electric cars are in short supply. And I think in the meantime, it is a great opportunity for us to build EV infrastructure together and grow together. And if we develop successful connection, we believe that we can go further than we think and can fight it with the large competitors.
Yeah. And it's the EV market, of course, is a very competitive market, and it's, as you mentioned, David, working with large corporations is sometimes also hard and takes a long time to get in touch with them. So it's a really dynamic and helpful to work with other startups together and share information and really to do something great together, instead of just competing with each other or trying to create roadblocks or not to talk to each other. So I think it's really beneficial and important to share information, to exchange knowledge, and to really open up and discuss all the problems that happen, to ask others how they solve it or how to solve it together. And I think especially for us, also Techstars was an amazing platform for that, because it's really taught us how important it is to talk together and how to leverage the Techstars network and the Techstars network, but also the other companies in our cohort, to really discuss several or different types of problems, from fundraising to how to acquire customers or doing legal things in different countries. And that was for us really beneficial. And it's I think that's really one of the core values of Techstars, to bring people together to share information or share experiences and support each other to create great solutions together and not in silos.
Amazing. And I want to reiterate that's something that we're trying to do, the same concept that Raphael was talking about, which is facilitated networking or communication or collaboration. That's what the MIH for Startup program is trying to do, right? So we have a cohort of 20. So 20 startups from across the world will be engaged with this facilitation program, where not only are you talking to each other, which is the 20 cohorts, startups from across the world, also you're talking to closely with MIH and also Foxconn and the members that includes in that, right? So you'll have the MIH network, you'll have the Foxconn network, you'll have the Techstars network, and each other, right? So think about that in a sense of collaboration and innovation. And what we're trying to do there is to break down those barriers. So you don't need to go to LinkedIn, or you don't need to find Gene on Facebook. You find them in these programs, and basically everyone's incentivizing each other to collaborate and talk to each other and find synergies. And if there's no synergies between Gene and Raphael, I'm sure Gene's friend has synergies with Raphael, right? Or vice versa, right? So that's the kind of facilitation that program brings to the founders, where they can focus on building their product, but also you'll get a lot of different angles that come in and say, hey, talk to this guy for a bit. I think they can help you. And that's where Joe and me and the program teams come in during that program. What we're doing is we want you to focus on building and innovating and telling us more about what you're doing, so we can go out and bring the right stakeholders in Foxconn to come talk to you, bring the right member from MIH here to come talk to you, or bring a Techstars alumni to come talk to you and see if there's possible synergies, collaborations, or ways we work together to improve sectors of this space. Because at the end of the day, everyone in this space is trying to bring this space forward into adoption, so it turns into mainstream, right? So that's very exciting to see, and I'm really happy to have that happen in a non-facilitated and facilitated way. And really cute thing that Gene and Raphael wanted to do was they created a WhatsApp group, and I'm going to share the WhatsApp link. It's for anyone and everyone who is interested in talking about EV or charging, or they geek out on how do we take over the world with batteries, right? This is that place for you guys to talk to and create like the synergies and bonds here. So if you are in that sector, if you're a fellow founder, which I know a lot of you guys are, take a time, open your WhatsApp, scan the QR code so you can talk to Gene and Raphael directly. So I'm gonna leave it there. And after that, we can open up the floor for questions. So if you have questions, or you want to kind of come in and share your thoughts about today's session, type in chat what you want to talk about, or raise your hand, or just unmute yourself and say hi. Love to talk to all of you guys here, interact. And if you have questions about the program or the deadline, me and Joe are here to answer your questions. So yeah, let me leave this for a bit. But yeah, keep the questions coming or interact with us. We don't bite. Thank you guys for joining, and excited to see what other things we can create during and after these programs that we run. Oh, we got a clap. I like claps, but I like raise hands too. I'd love to hear, we'd love to hear from you guys. We got a thumbs up. Who's this? We got a lot of reactions. Anyone want to comment or have questions for Raphael and Gene? Or questions for me or Joe? I think we have a quiet bunch here today. Oh, there you go. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Does anyone know how to pronounce that? Torbjorn. I'm sorry. He has a question. One question is that actually, what is actually the distinctive advantage of Charge over its competitors? So one directed to Raphael.
Very good question. So basically what we know is driving behavior and charging behavior. And this enables us to predict where you will be tomorrow morning when you need to charge. And we can combine those localized data with different. So first of all, for example, for depots of fleets, to share charging stations between depots, which actually leads to a 4x higher electrification of electric fleets. That's one application. The other application is, for example, if you have a restaurant chain, those companies are interested in knowing more about their customers when they will be there, and also to what price they should provide charging. So we can dynamically provide charging, and therefore we have a software as a service offering and also transaction offering.
Great. Another question. I can't really pronounce these names. Gwenter. How do you make money? Are you asking me? Are you asking Raphael or Gene or Joe? Right?
We make I can answer this question for us. How we make money is, as I said, with software as a service offering for large corporations and also other charger owners in different tranches. So depending on how many charging stations you own, and a transaction-based functionalities where we take a share for every transaction. Like imagine like Google. So if you provide Google Ads or use Google Ads, then you can leverage the same systematic in the EV charging infrastructure. And I was just actually talking to William Way, the CTO of Foxconn, last week, and he had a very good comparison to see the charging infrastructure like the internet in early days, and that's exactly the layer that we built.
Amazing. How about Gene? How do you make money?
Okay, so we get 5% per charge from the owner of the charging EV station, and we also have a platform fee. Yeah, that's it. Our two main income.
Great. Any other questions? Those are great questions. I like those. Oh, Chris has a question. As well as collaborating on technology and offering common services across the markets you currently operate in, how do you see opportunities for leveraging your collaboration to expand into new markets? So maybe it's Raphael and Gene working on taking over a different country.
I think that's a great idea, but of course you always run on limited resources as startups. So I think we are really open to also talk with founders from other countries who would like to, or who have already their network and customers there, or a business up and running. And we're happy to talk also to everyone from other countries to share information and to roll out in different market segments and to find a way to collaborate here.
So more so collaboration in the sense of maybe going to these new markets without actually going into them and finding partners there to collaborate with. So you can have a rev share sense or maybe licensing. That has been what I've been seeing with a lot of collaborations with startups is if they find synergies with similar startups in an area, other than just going in by themselves and setting up shop, having them license out to similar founders who understand their technology, it's easy for them to kind of localize your technology, right? So maybe that's a really good segue. Another question, great. What data would you like to have to improve your prediction of where customers will be charging?
So basically we connect into, or we deeply integrate into all of the electric vehicle or EV, the devices that are used in the EV space. So from charging infrastructure to networks, from charging stations that are directly connected to our system or to charging infrastructure from other networks. And that's first of all, charging data, and of course also driving behaviors. So we deeply integrate into the vehicles, have their agreements, and this way we can can learn a lot about every single driver out there and every single driver who will use a specific charging station. And this way we can predict many patterns around the utilization of a charger.
Great. We have one more question. So you track location of every driver at the time. I mean, at all times, I think, what he means. So you track locations at all times.
Actually, we don't have to do this because you live in the EV charging space, and this has a it's very best explained like it's not a continuous space. It's you have your charging stations, and those are the relevant points. So you don't have to go in geographic location to optimize the system. But I'm happy to go deeper into this afterwards. So if you join our WhatsApp group.
Amazing. I think he's really interested in what you're doing. Exciting. I see a familiar face. Universal, you're raising your hand. Do you want to come off mute and ask your question?
Hi, yes. I have two questions. Where do you see like, because I'm in South Africa, where do you see Africa going with the whole EV? Because we're very young at this moment, and the EVs are very expensive for one to the market it's at a low currently. So where do you see like assistance, seeing that we're talking about collaborations in terms of maybe growing the market in Africa, not only South Africa, but in Africa? That's one question. And the other question is, can tires be another way to charge than your electric vehicle stations? Because currently we as a company, we're going the route of using tires to charge your electric vehicle, still in the prototype stage. There's a couple of things that we still need to add to the tire. Like for instance, how is the tire gonna connect to the electric vehicle? So then you would speak of how's it gonna connect wirelessly, and if the wireless is disconnected, then it will then you would use Bluetooth to connect to have that communication between the tire and the electric vehicle. So do you see tires being an option rather than going to a station and charging, waiting for hours or for minutes to charge your electric vehicle? Those are the two questions that I have.
Regarding the tires, I think there are many. Actually, I didn't hear about the tires yet, but I heard a lot, or it was a lot in the wireless charging. I think there are many things that have to be tested currently, and I think there's probably no right or wrong currently, or no proper conclusion yet to make. I think there are great developments in the wireless charging infrastructure or in wireless charging technologies, but I think you always have to see for what application and in what situation do you want to use that. So sometimes it makes just more sense to plug in, but I think sometimes it's the same with your smartphone. You sometimes just want to plug it in, and sometimes it's convenient to have a wireless charger, or also for different applications, for example, for trucks. This may be a totally different story and application to make things and keep them up and running 24/7. So I think there are different opportunities in terms of also collaboration, or how we see the market in Africa. I think it's really important, or that's great that you actually mention it, because it's important to understand how it actually works there. That's something I don't know, because I'm not from there, but I think it's really great to hear this. And in terms of technology, we probably speak the same language, and I think that's a great starting point to start a conversation.
Oh, okay. No, those were the two questions. Because I think in collaboration, different parts of the world need to collaborate, especially startups. And it's a great thing that what MIH is doing, like trying to bring startups together, because like you said, it is hard to collaborate with your GMs, your Fords, your Teslas, your Rivians, you can name, to name a few. So yeah, collaborations I think are needed. It's going to take some time for Africa to evolve to a standard where, like your EUs, you guys have a lot of charging stations. You're growing rapidly. North America also, and Asia is picking up too. So I do think collaboration is a vital thing, especially for startups, because startups do need that assistance, not only to for its own company, but to collaborate with other people and learn from other startups on what to do, or how to help in certain areas that maybe we're not familiar with. Maybe you good in that the battery part. Maybe we good in the charging part, and then coming together would help each other in terms of knowing, okay, for the battery you could do this, for the charging you could do that. So yeah, that's pretty much the question that I have.
Thank you. Thank you for that insight. And I think this is those kind of interactions we want to create through these sessions, open dialogue after sharings. So love for you guys to connect after, and continue the conversations, right? And for sure, collaboration is key. Joe, do you have any ending thoughts on what the conversation was today, and do you have anything to add?
No, I think this is a great conversation between two startups, and yeah, I think really just to elaborate what you were saying earlier about, these networks, these programs, Techstars, MIH, these are the kind of network, that we do plan to offer to, startups, participating in these programs, to connect them with each other and to offer them opportunities. And especially, I think one of the questions earlier was about how do startups, potentially can tackle new markets together. And then that is also one of the other opportunity that, as part of MIH, that we could offer is tapping into some of the Foxconn opportunities. Foxconn has been very aggressive in their global footprint expansion into the US and into Southeast Asia, with Thailand and with PTT. And there's going to be more upcoming announcement that we'll be seeing from that there will be more and more EV collaboration and projects that is coming up from Foxconn, and then tapping into MIH, which is the Foxconn supported initiative. allows that connection to happen. And so yeah, I would really encourage all the startups to really come and join this program, to work together on this open platform, working on standardization, reference design, so that we can benefit the whole industry as a whole. Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to chatting more with you all, and as we kind of progress with this program. And yeah, and lastly, thank you, Jean, Raphael, for sharing your great stories.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And we are right on time. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Jean and Raphael, for sharing. Applications links are in the chat. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing. Oh, that kind of rhymed. Kind of wrapped right there. But yes, thank you for joining, and hopefully we see you guys more. Hope you enjoy this session today, and have a good day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. So thank you, and see you guys soon.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.